Hola, 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 hola. Buenas tardes. Bienvenidos a otra sesión de URVANITY MAHOU Talks. Ya empezamos con la sesión de la tarde de sábado, que serán 3 conferencias. Bueno, conferencias, debates, diálogos. Siempre esta es la primera hora de la tarde, que siempre como que cuesta un poco, ¿no? Siempre es espacio un poco más vacío, pero el contenido es interesantísimo y como va a quedar registrado, pues creo que vale mucho la pena que lo pongamos en valor, porque hoy tenemos un dualismo muy interesante que se da mucho también en el mundo del arte, se ha dado históricamente, y también, ¿por qué no?, en el mundo del arte urbano, que es esta relación como quizá más íntima, quizá más duradera, quizá más profunda, entre lo que sería pues un curator, un comisario y un artista, ¿no? Y eso es lo bonito. Yo creo que yo personalmente también he vivido algo así, con artistas como Jorge Ruiz Gerada, que está aquí, por ejemplo, cual hace pues ya 15 años que trabajamos juntos, ¿no? También le pasó a Picasso con Volar, ¿no? Y ha pasado en muchos casos históricos y al final creo que se construyen cosas muy bonitas, porque yo, desde mi perspectiva, creo que el comisario no solo tiene que conocer la obra del artista, tiene que conocer a la persona que hay detrás del artista para poder realmente amplificar y llevar hasta a su máxima expresión, y es como un camino que se hace conjuntamente muchas veces, ¿no? El comisario, yo siempre digo que los comisarios tenemos que conseguir que esos cabrones hagan la mejor obra de su vida contigo, ¿no? Es un poco esa cosa, ¿no? Entonces tenemos ese trabajo también de explorar en la persona que hay detrás, de intentar pues sacarlo de su sitio de confort muchas veces. Es como un diálogo conjunto que también el artista muchas veces agradece, ¿no? Porque siente que también no camina solo, ¿no? Y hay como un partnership ahí, se generan amistades y relaciones muy, muy, muy potentes. Y más creo en arte urbano, que las experiencias muchas veces están al límite de, no sé, producción, presupuestos, inputs que vienen de por aquí y por allá, ¿no? Y yo creo que yo sí, claro, como comisario pues debo reivindicar muchas veces nuestra figura, ¿no? Y nada, quiero pues introducir a Bjørn y Nicolás. Bjørn, no solo como comisario, Bjørn ha publicado varios libros de muchísimo éxito dentro del mundo del arte urbano, y además también es galerista, tiene presencia en URVANITY por primera vez, y entonces, bueno, pues su mirada seguro va a ser transversal. Además, este dualismo se construye en una cosa, en un binomio cultural, podríamos decir, porque tenemos Europa y América Latina también aquí en un diálogo intercultural. Tal y como me ha transmitido Bjørn, y se puede ver en sus proyectos, pues él tiene mucho interés en todo el tema de la cultura latina. Y Nicolás pues también es un artista urbano que lleva muchísimos años trabajando, originario de Buenos Aires, porteño, y que bueno, tiene una larguísima trayectoria y que juntos han construido este binomio, ¿no? Entonces hoy la sesión consiste básicamente en eso, ¿no? En encontrar en que tengan un diálogo íntimo pero público, ¿no? Vamos a ver si lo conseguimos y cómo lo hacemos, pero...
Estamos tímidos, ¿no?
Pero bueno, como estamos en confianza, pues yo creo que va a salir bien. Así que nada, no me alargo más en esta introducción y les paso la palabra. Nicolás, creo que quieres empezar tú un poco, no sé si me he equivocado en algo que he dicho.
No, estuvo perfecto. ¿Cómo están, Petit Comité? Nada, mi nombre es Nicolás y empecé a pintar como hace 15 años en Buenos Aires. Y bueno, nada, o sea, como que empecé como con el graffiti, y también creo que muchas veces como que Buenos Aires es una ciudad que te da mucha libertad. Entonces creo que tuve la capacidad de desarrollar como campos muy diferentes, y como que con el tiempo creo que esa libertad me hizo llegar a un tipo de trabajo que es un poco más experimental, que me gusta un poco la situación de trabajar con los espacios íntimos o los espacios que están ahí alrededor de mi alrededor, ¿no? Entonces actualmente mi obra se concentra un poco en trabajar sobre los bodegones o como still life, y como que siempre trato de trabajar con objetos o símbolos que estén muy cercanos al espacio donde voy a pintar el mural. Este es un mural que, por ejemplo, se hizo en Barcelona el año pasado, y que consistía un poco en hablar de La Sagrera, el barrio de La Sagrera ahí en Barcelona. Y nada, era trabajar con todos esos elementos que estaban ahí alrededor y con las cosas con las que consumía o las cosas que veía en el momento ahí. O sea, hay de todo. Tienen como desde un papel higiénico, que creo que desde el año pasado el papel higiénico se volvió un basic de petróleo casi. Después como toda esta situación, ¿no?, de estar adentro del hogar, el mando de la Play, esa serie que veíamos todos, una de ese señor que era como que le encantaban los tigres, que me parecía que todos la vimos y ahora nos olvidamos de esa serie. Hasta ni me acuerdo el nombre. Y después como comidas o elementos que están alrededor de La Sagrera. Un poco que siempre me gusta quedarme con algo. Generalmente como en mi obra lo que quiero es eso, como que haya un intercambio entre el artista y el proyecto y yo llevarme algo de esa experiencia en el espacio público. O sea, me parece que muchas veces los festivales tienen esta tendencia de que uno va, hace sus cosas y se va. Y me parece que yo quería buscar una búsqueda que haya como que se genere como un puente entre esa comunidad y el mural, porque yo de por sí considero que el mural, una vez que lo termino, no me pertenece y me parece que la parte que el mural se activa una vez ya terminado. O sea, me parece que el proceso de pintarlo es solo un proceso físico en donde uno está tratando básicamente de llegar a un resultado lo más cercano posible, pero después, nada, uno se va. Entonces me parece que esa es una problemática que había en los festivales y que traté de buscar una manera en donde yo podía resolver ese enigma y un poco llevarlo a este nivel. Y me parecía que con los bodegones yo tenía una manera un poco de contar muchas historias o varias historias a la vez y al principio creo que es como que uno lo ve y son informaciones completamente diferentes, pero creo que todo tiene como un relato y tiene un valor, ¿no?, básicamente. También, bueno, muchas veces lo que hago es, las cosas las practico, hago una previa en el estudio, entonces generalmente estos son como ensayos que hago generalmente para después tal vez se me ocurren cosas en el estudio que después las puedo hacer en el espacio público y ese es un cuadro que está aquí, por ejemplo, con nosotros en URVANITY, hoy y hasta el domingo. Este también es como un poco para hablarles de la capacidad que tiene Buenos Aires. O sea, Buenos Aires para mí es una probeta, o sea, es un lugar donde creo que la reacción de la gente es como muy instantánea, es decir, creo que al estar tan alejada, digamos, de ser un foco, o sea, porque estamos muy lejos, ¿no?, son 15 horas de vuelo, como que la gente tiene una energía como un poco más abrupta, todo es como mucho más directo en Buenos Aires. Entonces por eso a mí siempre me gustó como lugar de ensayo, entonces generalmente siempre, no sé, esta es la casa de un anciano, una casa tomada y no tengo ni la necesidad de explicarle lo que voy a pintar, es decir, el señor me dice que vas a pintar un gato, ah, bueno, guay, pero después es como que pasan muchas cosas y como que al final tampoco les importa lo que está pasando en esa información, es como que está todo... Inclusive la gente siempre piensa en Buenos Aires de por qué pintás y si te pagan por lo que estás haciendo. Y cuando le decís que no te pagan es como, guau, ¿de qué vivís? Como que la gente no entiende de que, bueno, que se puede vivir el arte y también, digo, la condición de Buenos Aires al ser una ciudad sudamericana también como que el arte tiene cierta precariedad constantemente. Y en esto un poco es un ensayo que hago que son como pequeños muros que este es a la vuelta de mi ex estudio, entonces a mí me gusta esta situación un poco de trabajar dos informaciones, o mejor dicho, hay tres tipos de información, que tenemos como este fondo medio de cuadro europeo, ¿no?, y después tenemos este gato y a Trump, y como que al principio y a la primera mirada como que no tienen ninguna relación en común, pero en realidad sí, o sea, y a mí me gusta, por ejemplo, como la situación de Trump con el pelo y tratar de imitar ese pelaje con lo del gato, ¿no? Y como que la gente generalmente cuando ve esto dice, ¿qué es esto? O sea, ¿qué tiene que ver Trump con un gato? Y como me gusta un poco ensayar lo que hacemos nosotros al día a día, que es consumir una cantidad de imagen que es, o sea, con nuestros móviles consumimos cualquier tipo de información y cualquier tipo de imagen. Y actualmente podemos ver desde un bombardeo en Gaza a un video de unos gatitos jugando, ¿no?, en un jardín y a Trump, no sé, subiéndose un avión. Todo eso lo consumimos a un nivel que es abrumador, ¿no? Pero yo trato un poco de capitalizar toda esa información o todas esas imágenes. Y ahora yo un poco voy a hacer la introducción a Bjørn, que va a ser tipo en español ahora. Yo en el 2017 lo conozco a Bjørn, bueno, lo conozco vía mail, ¿no? Y fue una relación bastante particular porque yo creo que como que The Crystal Ship actualmente me parece un festival que es como muy potente, que tiene una curaduría, creo que consiguió agrupar como muchos artistas potentes y como que, no sé, Bjørn me acuerdo que me mandó un mail con 9 meses de anticipación para ir a un festival y eso primero me llamó la atención porque los festivales siempre a veces te escriben a 2 meses, así como... Y como que me sorprendí un poco de lo que estaban haciendo en la ciudad de Ostende y nada, me parece que como que él está haciendo como una curaduría bastante interesante y como que tratando de hacer como proyectos que también tengan que ver mucho con el espacio público, pero tratando de integrar, ¿no? Como en esta situación de dividir que esté esta situación del artista y el público, sino como que el público también tenga esa participación y pueda también cuestionar y ver lo que está pasando. Y lo está haciendo en Ostend y lo está haciendo muy bien. Bjørn, this is your turn.
Thank you, thank you. I'm afraid I can't speak Spanish, but I'll do my best in English. So I've been working in street art since almost 15 years. I've always been involved in organizing street art projects in my country, Belgium. So I also did organize the very first street art festival in Belgium back in 2011. And it was a small festival in a little town called Hasselt. And I invited over 20 artists to come paint murals. And I still remember the first time when an artist arrived at the airport. We had supplied drivers to pick up the artist and take them to the festival. And back in those days, that was very unique and very special. And I remember that the first artist who arrived at the airport gave me a call, and he was really scared, and he sounded really anxious. And he said, "There's a guy standing here at the airport with my name on a cardboard. Who is that?" I said, "Well, that's your driver. That's your driver." I said, "What? A driver?" So he had never seen a driver in his entire street art career. Probably one of my most known projects to date is the Crystal Ship Festival, a festival where Nico also painted back in 2016. That was also the very first edition of the festival in Ostend. I've been doing it ever since. It's a yearly festival. It always happens in April. And in April, I invite 15 to 20 international renowned artists to come to do street art in Ostend. All the murals, they stay in the city for eternity. So it's a very permanent art walk. It's like an art tour. And you can come and visit it. You can get like a little plan at a tourism office. And then you can do like the walk of all the murals and installations that we have made. At this point, we have 67 murals and about 250 smaller interventions in the street. This work is made by Aris, of course. I think everybody knows him here. I wanted to show you this image, because last year the pandemic struck the world, and I couldn't organize my festival, the Crystal Ship, in a traditional way. So I had to come up with a very creative approach. And what I've done is I've installed a couple of murals and a couple of installations, like in historical buildings. This is one of them. It's a large cut-out painting fixed on some kind of scaffolding. And
this is ephemeral, this one, right?
This is ephemeral, yeah. Yeah. This is ephemeral. The Aris took the installation back to Barcelona with him. So yeah, it was only to be seen for a very short time, for 2 weeks. But yeah, I think it's very important to adapt to the current situation. And with the pandemic, it really taught me to think differently, because maybe I was a little bit stuck in the same thing all over again. More recently, I've also opened my own gallery in Brussels called Ruby Gallery. We have a booth here upstairs in the URVANITY lab. I'm here with the gallery as well. And besides that, I also write books on contemporary street art. That's what you already mentioned in the beginning, of course. And for me, it's like the circle is finally round. I have my books, I have my street art projects, and I have my gallery. And all those three things, they come together very nicely. And it's like a very relevant platform to showcase artists which I find interesting or that make beautiful work. And that's how I do it. This is one more little mural we did in Austin by the Spanish Asif. And Asif is known for his very political, very social murals. And this is a mural he made 2 years ago in Austin. And he said, "This is my most political work ever." And it's actually based on self-criticism, because he knows that he's very political, and he said, okay, now I'm going to paint a dog, which is totally apolitical, but I will put like words underneath the dog, save the planet. And so this has turned out to be a very political work from Essie.
Brilliant. I have a question, and how do people react when they see it? They're like...
Well, the coincidence is that there's like two similar looking dogs living in the street, and the neighbors are now fighting to claim, oh no, it's my dog that's been picked. No, it's my dog. Yeah, so, and they asked me, is it my dog or is it the one from the neighbor? I said, I don't know. So,
as to the artist.
Yeah, as to the artist. So yeah, my most project is Crystal Ship by far. It's immensely popular. It's been visited over 125,000 times per year, so we receive a lot of visitors. And those are people from all different backgrounds, different ages. I remember that when we first started doing Crystal Ship in Austin, the city council thought that there will be more young people coming to the city to visit the street art. But turns out 30% of our visitors is older than 60.
Wow.
Yeah. This is also a recent mural we've done last year with German artist Kees McLean. Kees McLean, I think, is an absolutely incredible artist, massively talented, and I think he was one of the first graffiti artists that experimented with this realistic imagery. And you can clearly see it if you look at the hands that are the water in the bucket. It looks so realistic. It's incredible. Also, he's a very fast painter as well. He he completed this mural in like 4 days and a half. He just arrived in Ostend. He said, I want to paint a mural with a girl washing her hands and a bucket of white paint, because he refers to whitewashing, of course. If that was not obvious. And so he just came and said, do you have a model available that can wash like her hands? I called some people up. One of my friends came. She was painting on another job, as you can see by her clothes, of course. And she washed her hands in a bucket. He took some pictures and he started painting it instantly. It's so crazy, it's super crazy. We have also made the biggest painting ever in the Benelux. This is a little work we painted with Ella and Pieter, two French artists. It's super big, as you can see. The little black dots on the left side, those are actually the artists with their shade, because it's the bright sun.
Wow.
You can
How
see
many
it,
meters?
It's 14,500 square meters. So it's like 2 soccer fields, 2 football fields. Yeah. And there's a small reference to James Ensor, which is a local painter in Ostend. He is known for painting masks, So the woman also wears a mask as a reference to the local painter James Ensor.
How long takes to these guys to do this one? Like it was like the same time as me, no?
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah, I feel a little bit slow if these people were like.
Yeah, they were working very, very hard.
Yeah.
Take a guess. How long do you think it took them to paint? They were 4 people.
Take care, because we have here the Jorge Rodríguez Gerada.
Yeah. No, I know. But he cannot answer this question.
No, don't reply, Jorge. No, I think 4 or 5 days, no? Probably.
No, 10 days. 10 days.
Boom.
Yeah. Can you do it in 4 days?
No,
Yeah.
but maybe for people,
Yeah,
waking up
okay.
at 6 a.m.
Hey, it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a journalist coming to film this particular artwork, and he said, "Oh, but you guys have a drone, so that's cheating." And this Alain Peters responded, "We paint these kind of paintings for 15 years, long before we even had drones. They don't use a drone to sketch or do the painting. It's just to have some good photos of the work." Also painted last year by D-Face. D-Face also shows work here at URVANITY in his own gallery, so the Space Gallery. You should definitely check it out. This was also painted during the pandemic. I think the biggest advantage of the pandemic was that a lot of artists had a lot of free time. So as soon as it was legally possible to have somebody over, I was like calling the government every day, and they said, "Oh yeah, you can do it if you can invite an artist if he can finish his work within 5 days." I said, "Okay, no problem, we can do this." I called up D-Face and said, "Come, let's do this wall." And he said, "Yeah, I have a lot of free time at the moment." So I said, "Yeah, come to Ostend." He actually came to Ostend with a motorbike. So him, his girlfriend, and his assistant with 3 motorbikes.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
3 by 1.
All the way from London to Austin with the motorbikes. It's like an adventure. Super cool. This is a good friend of mine, Roa. He's also a Belgian artist, of course. He actually grew up just right around my corner. He painted this wall in 2016, the year that Nico was also present. He's also a super talented painter, paints super, super fast, smokes a lot. I think he's like...
He's quite impressive about that.
Yeah, he's quite... I don't understand that he can paint so fast while being stoned all the time, but okay, yeah. So he painted this in 2.5 days. So
Yeah.
it's like,
This is from Belgium,
yeah, it's
right?
It's crazy. This work is made by Paula Delfin, Mexican artist. It's the tallest mural in Ostend.
Wow.
Paola Delfín, yeah.
Yeah, it's 40 meters. And Paula asked actually the people living in that apartment building who she needed to portray. And on top of the painting is a social worker from the area.
Wow.
So the people that are painted are chosen by the neighborhoods, by the people living there. And that for me is really important, because for me art is always a social thing, right? Street art is always more than just some paint smashed against a wall. It can often convey a certain message, and for me it's really interesting to have like this double layered mural. It's very pretty to look at it, but it also makes you think and reflect about certain political or social issues. And for me, I think it's also always the most interesting murals that have a message.
But, sorry, I had to interrupt you, but for example, something I'm really curious about your project too is like, when was the moment that you say, okay, I'm gonna call Latin artists, for example, you know what I mean? Because I see this huge wall of Paola Delfin, and then it's like, what is your attraction of, you know, like this like Latin American muralism, for example?
Well, it actually comes from my perception that art is a social thing, and Of course, we had a couple of years ago, to say the least, more than 100 years ago, we had the Mexican muralism in Latin America.
Sure.
And that totally impacted all the painters in Latin America who are practicing street art. And I'm not sure if you know what Mexican muralism is about. So Diego Rivera in Mexico, he was asked by the politicians, "Hey, can you paint a mural in the streets to tell the people what we are standing for as a politician? Can you do like propaganda for us politicians?" And so Diego, he painted like this wall, just to show, okay, this political party will change this and this and this and that in Mexico. And actually, because of that, there was like this contra movement of the people asking the painter, "Hey, but no, that's not what we want. We don't want the rich people to pay less taxes. We want things to change, like education and stuff like that." So they asked the same painter, "Can you communicate what we want on a mural?" So there was like some communication done via murals, via street art, and this was 100 years ago. And this movement still impacts a lot of artists, most definitely in Latin America. And that's why I think that Latin American artists are super relevant and super important. For instance, here we have Licuado Colectivo from Uruguay. We have the massively...
I remember this one, eh?
Yeah, he's crazy. Ilian, indeed. Also very talented artist as well. Did you know that Ilian, he doesn't like spicy food?
I know.
Yeah, he doesn't like spicy food at all. And so I took him to this Asian place, and and we ordered the food, and he said, "This is not spicy." I said, "No, it's not spicy. It's not spicy." So he ordered like non-spicy food. And then he had to go to the toilet, and I changed the food, like with my food.
Oh, my.
And I had this super spicy soup, and he was like eating his soup. I said, "How is your soup?" And he was like, and he became whole red. His face became whole red, and he started sweating. He was like, "This is super spicy." I said, "Yeah, sorry, it's my soup."
Oh my God.
Elian. He's awesome. Yeah. I really like this work. This was actually one of the first ones we painted in Ostend. It's an optical illusion, as you can see. I remember that I sent the images and the photos to the press, to the journalists, and they called me back and they said, "This is Photoshop." I said, "No, it's not Photoshop.
Really?
We fucking painted this on the wall. Come see it with your own eyes. It's not Photoshop." And the master, El Maestro, Franco Fasoli, jazz. He got inspired by James Ensor.
He will talk tonight.
Yeah, I know. With Inti, right? Yeah. And this guy, I don't know, who's this guy?
Who's that guy?
Yeah, who's that guy? This is Nicolás Romero Escalada.
Wow. That's a good pronunciation.
AKA Ever Siempre. And maybe you should explain why you painted this wall.
Yeah. But I'm gonna change it in Spanish mood.
Well, you can maybe start by saying that Ostend is built.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that every time that I paint, I try to do like a research about the city, and I found out that Ostend, I mean, actually there's something really funny too, that there's a Ostende in Buenos Aires too, that was built by Belgium, like a Belgium community there. Yeah. But then, when I was looking for information about Belgium, about Ostend, I found out that that was the vacation city of Leopold II, no? Yeah. And Leopold II was a really bad guy who made a really bad things. I mean, he was exploding people in Congo.
He killed 10 million Congolese.
Yeah.
10 million.
And
that's more than Hitler.
That's crazy though. And well, the thing was that I really want just to make a homage, for the people. I mean, some part I was trying just to make like a homage, a metaphorical homage about this situation of the Congo. And because also the wall was really closer to the train station, my plan was like, okay, the first thing that you're gonna see when you come from the train station, it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be this wall, you know. And for me, it was kind of like a symbolic homage to them to, I don't know, just to rewrite like the story about that, you know. And I remember when I told you, my plan, how was it? And yeah, I was surprised because you support me for sure, but then I know that you had to deal with, the city council, permissions, you know.
Yeah, so the Crystal Ship is for 99% funded by the city of Ostend. It's all taxpayers' money, to be honest.
City council? Yeah.
Sorry?
City council.
Yeah, city council.
Public money.
Public money, taxpayers' money.
How many percent you said, sorry?
99%.
99%.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
Well, I don't like working with commercial brands that much, to be honest, because they always limit my creativity and the creativity of an artist. And of course, there will be some good brands out there that have a more like open-minded vision, but I've not come across them yet. So
It comes from tourism? Or
yeah, so all
culture? Culture
no.
department, no?
No, all city departments pay their share for the Crystal Ship Festival. So either tourism, culture, but also youth, education, and yeah. So all of the city council pays for Crystal Ship, and it's a really nice budget I receive yearly. And so I always have to make sure that the politicians are also satisfied with the work we made, but I think I can be very convincing with talking to politicians, and I said this is really important to sparkle a debate with the people living in Ostend, and so I got the permission to paint this mural. And to be honest, we actually did like more crazy stuff. This was like the very first time that Leopold was criticized with a mural in Ostend, and it totally it evoked a lot of things happening afterwards. So gracias, Nicolás, gracias. So these are also works with a certain social or political message as well. This mural is painted by Guido van Helten, an Australian artist, and it's painted, as you can see, at the old harbor of Ostend. And what's happening in the old harbor is the fishermen's community is getting smaller every year, and it's coming to a point that it's almost completely extinct. So Guido talked with a lot of people living in that street next in the harbor, and the most people, they've lost their jobs, and they were used to be fishermen, and for them it's really, it's annoying, it's painful that their greatest passion is disappearing. So Guido decided on portraying one of the older fishermen in Ostend. He actually used to work there in the harbor, and he had a boat, which is now a historical boat because this guy is really old. He's 84, I think, wow. Yeah. And so we organized a photo shoot with this old fisherman, and I managed via the city council to get the keys to his boat, his ship, where he always used to work at when he was younger. And so I got the keys to the boat, and I said, yeah, let's do the Photoshop on your boat, on your ship. And he started crying. He started crying because he said, it's been 20 years since I stepped on this boat. And we made some photos, and we painted his face on this really weird building. As you can see, it's like half brick, half like a silo, and it's very special. Yeah. This is
well,
yeah, we decapitated Leopold II with a mural. So I told you some things can definitely become more crazy since you put your mark in Ostend. The mayor actually disapproved this. Disapproved it. Yeah, he's like, whoa, this is really.
I mean, I can tell. No?
It's too brutal. It's too brutal. So Leopold II without a head. I say, yeah, it's a very nice symbol. I said, oh, I cannot approve this. So we made a second sketch.
Really?
Yeah, with the head, and we started painting, and we painted him without a head, and. People are calling the mayor, they are not painting the head, or not painting
really,
the head.
They called the mayor too.
Yeah, the mayor came and he said, yeah, I didn't approve this design. I said, I'm sorry, and we just went up with the elevator, and it's like, fuck this.
And then they give you money the next year for do the project too?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. I told you, I can be very convincing.
Yeah,
I know how to talk with politicians, so. Well, he was furious at first, but then, yeah. But the thing was, when it was almost completely finished, there were a lot of people passing by, taking photos, and they posted it on Instagram, and they tagged the city of Ostend, and the mayor saw, oh, this mural, everybody loves it, so maybe I should change my opinion. He was just scared that it would cause violence.
Okay.
Yeah, and that didn't happen, of course. So yeah, so I said I don't give a fuck. I will paint it without a head.
Yeah, that's great.
This work is painted by Leon Keir. There are 3 blue vases, but if you look closely to the scenes painted on the vases, you can see that's all about climate change, and that's what I really like. There's also an optical illusion, by the way. Yeah, we also do other things than just painting murals. Sometimes we do installations, as you've seen with Aris before, but also with this local Belgian artist. We had an inflatable refugee made, and we put them on the beach of Ostend, which it looks a bit surreal, right?
Yeah, and that was during the summer or like, no?
No, Easter holidays.
Wow.
But the weather was really good. Yeah, it was really warm. 18 degrees, guys.
Wow.
18 degrees.
In Ostend, eh?
Yeah. I think so, that's about it, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
Any questions?
Wow. That's exciting.
I talk too much, right?
So you are... No, it's fine. Yeah, our time is finishing, but we need to open the microphone to the public. First of all, just to say that you are both guys amazing and situationists, storytellers and explorers, no? So I love your vision, and yeah, I share the same, most of the things that you said. The importance, no, of the street art. No, not the only single thing that you leave and you go. No, the importance of the situation to take care about the public in a local way and in a global way.
Yeah.
So this is a double way to see the things. No sé si, bueno, espero que hayáis seguido la charla de Bjørn porque ha sido súper potente. Por favor, quien quiera preguntar cualquier cosa, es el momento. Yo creo que Jorge tiene algo que decir.
Tiene cara de que sí.
Yeah. Come on, Jorge, with a difficult question.
¿Qué os ha parecido la feria?
What do you think about the fair?
I really like it, actually. It's my first year here. The people are awesome. I've been to Spain before, to Barcelona a couple of times, Malaga, Valencia. But I really, really like Madrid. I really like the people here. They're very open, very friendly. And there's only one downside. They do not know how to party. They're all very tired.
Bueno, ¿a quién no le gusta Madrid, no?
Only one night and everybody's hungover and tired. Come on, seriously. I phoned up all of Madrid yesterday and everybody was sleeping. Holy shit.
We know that you called everybody yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, I called you as well.
The only problem of Madrid is that never sleeps.
Well,
that's the problem.
I tried, but you guys are lazy.
Sí.
Spanish people can't drink, I think that's the thing.
It's just a question for Bjørn. How do you deal with the negative secondary effects of muralism and how that can turn into gentrification within certain parts of the city?
It's a good question, Jorge, thank you. To be honest, when I first made the concept of Crystal Ship, I said I made like a statement, and I said there's some things I would never do. First of all, I would never paint close to a train station or like an area that is known for its graffiti. Secondly, I would never paint back alleys or avoid beautification of a neighborhood with my artworks. That's what I always said to them. And So with the crystal ship, I don't really have gentrification because I said in advance I would not do that. So yeah, I don't like it, to be honest.
¿Más preguntas?
So all of the murals, Jorge, are in like super visible public places. Okay, so if you go to the city center of Ostend, you have like the big casino, tourist department, and on top of that you have like this big mural, and they're all very public places. There are no back alleys, no dirty industrial areas of the city. All of my works are really, really visible, and that's what I also told the city council. I want my artists to take the main stage, not some little wall next to like some old factory or something. No, I don't want that.
But you're not scared that sometimes the politicians take your work as a, part of publicity or something, or?
Well, yeah.
The city branding stuff.
Yeah, well, it's of course city marketing. Tourism department invests a lot of money in Crystal Ship, but is that really a bad thing? It's like Crystal Ship turned out to be like some kind of cultural, touristic product, but the festival is still free to visit. We don't charge any money, nor for the little plan. So it's very open and very accessible to everybody, and it's very inclusive as well. So I don't mind that it became a touristic product, as long as my visitors can still enjoy it on a freely way. Then I'm happy with it. I don't mind. I don't hate tourism. And if I can show a little bit of art and culture to those tourists, then my job is done.
We are all tourists in this world, in this life.
So. Well, I am, definitely.
You are now.
Sorry.
¿Nadie tiene más preguntas? Se nos acaba el tiempo. Bueno, yo le haría muchísimas preguntas más, pero la verdad que ha sido un placer, yo creo, para todos, ¿no? Pues thanks. Muchas gracias, Nicolás.
Gracias,
Bjørn.
De nada.
Ha sido un placer teneros aquí, de verdad, en esta charla.